I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. It's files, all the same name, but different targets. Beautiful images of the Orion Nebula on flash drives that get left in the hotel. Smart scopes with no storage left, hundreds of miles away from the nearest laptop where you can dump all of the data. All those beautiful memories lost to time like tears in rain. It's time to get a NAS. And that's why I finally upgraded my storage. I was tired of having files everywhere. Copies on the device that was capturing the image, copies on my processing PC, copies on flash drives and NAS drives and SD cards. All these random external devices that had all these images that I worked really hard to gather. For a while, my server was literally just a shared folder on my desktop PC, which sometimes you can see in the shot here. So if that PC was off, I had no storage. If that one drive failed, I had no storage, and potentially my data would be gone. I wanted something always on, more efficient and redundant, a sort of real system. So I reached out to UGREEN to see what would actually work for my setup. And they sent me the UGREEN NAS Sync DH2300, which is sort of a mouthful. But this is a kind of really interesting product in a really interesting space. Today's video is sponsored by UGREEN themselves, and they provided me with the NAS, but all the testing and results are mine using real astro data conducted here in the shed. And a quick call to action up front, I'll put the links to the exact gear I'm using down in the description. Some links may be affiliate links, which help support the channel, but at no additional cost to you. What is a NAS? Let's answer some basic questions. NAS stands for Network Attached Storage, and it's pronounced NAS, and it rhymes with mass. The easiest way for you to think about this device is it's sort of your first home cloud. It works a lot like cloud storage, except the drives are physically in your house and your files stay local. Your computer, your imaging mini PC, your laptop, and your cell phone can access all that data on your network, and you can control pretty easily who gets access to it in case you have like shared projects. Now, for astrophotography, that means one place for everything. RAW subs, calibration frame, libraries, all of your stacked images, your projects. You end up hopefully with a lot fewer where did that file go moments and a lot more just very simple, straightforward file handling than, again, the mess of individual storage devices that we used in the past. I want to show you how fast the setup of a device like this is, because I think a lot of people assume that something called a network attached storage device equals a lot of complication and craziness. It really doesn't. And here's just going to be a really easy way to walk through what the setup is like for a UGREEN NAS like this. This is the DH2300. It accepts 2 hard drives in here. This is a magnetic enclosure. And on the back, it's got some USB ports for input or output. It's got an Ethernet port. It even has an HDMI port. You can hook this up to your TV. Or like a monitor to view all of the files. And then on the front, you've got your power button, and then you've got another USB Type-C port. These are really nice to have. I'm gonna show you how to set one of these up. You pull the top off, it's magnetic. You pull out the drive sled. There's 2 of them. You take your hard drives, which I have in this case. I'm using 4 terabyte drives, so I'm gonna end up with 4 terabytes of usable storage. I'm putting 2 in there. But you can go up to 60 terabytes, and that's actually one of the really cool things about the UGREEN system. It supports a lot of storage. So you just put your hard drive into the sled, and it comes with a bunch of screws, and I think it even came with, it even comes with a tiny little screwdriver. They really do make it about as easy as possible. And you put in 4 screws per drive, and you just bolt it into this hard drive sled. And then once you've got your hard drives in the sleds, you just drop them right back in where they came out of. There's a nice positive click. put the cover back on, power it up, and we can go and look at the software setup, but the hardware is done. For setup, you open a browser on a computer that's on the same network or install the UGREEN app on your Windows or Mac. You'll see the NAS appear on your LAN. Click it and follow the step-by-step setup guide, create your admin login, name the device, and set up the storage. For storage mode, on this device, I'm using RAID redundancy, specifically RAID 1 for this system. RAID 1 mirrors your data across the 2 drives in here. So if one drive fails, you can literally if one drive fails, your data is still safe and the NAS stays online while you order a replacement, get yourself a replacement drive and install that. Although a quick reality check, RAID is not backup. Those are sort of different concepts. RAID protects you from a drive failure. Backup protects you from like deletion and theft and all of that sort of stuff. But RAID is a big step up from a single external drive where you have all your images. Once the setup is done, you just create a shared folder and you're basically good to go. If you've ever set up a Wi-Fi router, I think this is probably easier. This system right here supports up to 60 terabytes of storage. So that's 2 30 terabyte hard drives. I installed 4 terabyte drives in this unit here, so I'm gonna have 4 terabytes of storage. Let's say you maxed it out though. If you're shooting with an IMX571 class camera like the ASI 2600, that max storage space of 60 terabytes is over 1 million full resolution fits frames. If you're using a IMX 585 class camera, you're looking at like 4 million frames. Now this is maxed out, but still this is what it's capable of. It's not about just having extra space. It's about having a long-term Astro library, which if you build well, when you start the hobby, you can end up, keeping it with you forever. Yes, the external NVMe drive is extremely fast, but for me, raw speed is only part of the story. The point of a NAS is workflow and reliability. Always on, potentially shared access, and having redundancy. And if you're already a Google Drive person, you don't have to give up Google Drive. This doesn't have to replace it. This NAS can sync directly with your Google Drive using their built-in Cloud Drive tool, which is useful for migrating data, creating backups, and even replacing your NAS later without having to start over. Okay, now let's make this astrophotography specific. How do files actually get onto the NAS from real capture setups? First of all, if you're using a Windows PC with Nina that's on your network, this is the cleanest workflow of the whole video. In Nina, all you have to do is set your image save directory to the NAS share. So that's it. You mount the NAS as a network drive and then you tell Nina to write files to it. I'm going to give it each mini PC its own folder. I have 2 that I usually run in the backyard. So one's going to be the AVX and the other one's going to be the Lost Mandy. And that's it. Every sub lands directly on the NAS. It's already mirrored with RAID, so there's no end of night copying, no hunting for, to actually grab all of those files the next day. Secondly, we're going to talk about the ASI Air Plus. With the ASI Air Plus, you can, from your Windows PC, you can export over the network. But really, I think the best way to do it is just plug your ASI Air into the USB port on here. And if you go into UGREEN's app, it'll show you that as an external drive and then just copy everything over. The NAS becomes the final home for your session folders. And once all the data is there, you can clear out your ASI Air and capture more data the next day. Third, let's talk about smart scopes like the C-Star, the Dwarf, or the Vaonis. They have limited internal storage. And when that storage fills up, if you weren't paying attention, your night stops. So what I recommend people do, just like with the ASI Air, just plug the device right into the USB port on the back of this NAS, copy over all the data, clear the data out on the scope, and you're ready for your next session. I do want to talk about a few features that UGREEN asked me to mention to help with sort of general photography workflow too. One of the things that I want to do is replace my kind of expensive cloud storage on my phone with this UGREEN NAS. And to do that, I need to be able to store all the pictures that I take like with my phone. So UGREEN includes an AI album assistant. Once you upload enough photos, a few hundred, it'll automatically group photos by things like people and places, and it sort of helps you manage big libraries. Next up is multi-user and sharing. You can create multiple user accounts with different permissions. For example, you can have read-only access for one account, full access for another, so that data is only accessed with the authorized scope. One of the nice things about this device is if you're using your phone to control it and move files, you can log in quickly using NFC on your phone. And let's talk about multi-client access. You can access and manage files from the app on your phone or from Windows or Mac OS on your computer. And you can set up remote access so that you can get to your files while you're away. And I kind of love that feature. All right, let's talk about the verdict. If you only care about peak speed per dollar, USB NVMe drives are hard to beat. But if you're looking for like a real upgrade, one place for everything with always on access, redundancy, so that a drive failure doesn't nuke your data, that's where the NAS starts making a lot more sense. And that's why I wanted to move beyond just a shared folder off my PC into a system that's built and designed to handle storage. I'll have links to the UGREEN NAS Sync DH2300 and the UGREEN 2.5 gig Ethernet adapter down in the description. If this helped, subscribe for more beginner-friendly astrophotography tests, and let me know what you would do with 60 terabytes of storage. For Deep Sky Labs, I'm Francisco. Clear skies.